Seller Make It Right, SMIR. In this video, we will learn about the Seller Make It Right program. We will learn how sellers can take advantage of the Sellers Make It Right program to protect their seller standard from any post-sale issues. What is Seller Make It Right? Let us get to know the Seller Make It Right or the SMIR program. SMIR has been launched with the objective of encouraging buyers and sellers to directly communicate with each other on the eBay's M2M platform and resolve claims faster. There may be times when the buyers are not happy with the product or service you have provided to them. Under such circumstances, buyers often leave a negative feedback. This may also impact your position in the best match search results. SMIR provides an opportunities to sellers to work with buyers to agree on a resolution within 4 calendar days from the date the claim is filed under the eBay guarantee policy. As a seller, you know the product better than anyone else. You therefore are in the best position to also resolve a buyer concern. SMIR therefore is an opportunity for sellers to service their customers better, leading to safeguarding seller standard from any post-sale issues. In the event the buyer and seller don't have an agreement about the claim at the end of 4 calendar days, eBay will assist users to resolve the claim as per the terms and conditions of eBay guarantee policy. Benefits of SMIR. Let us now see how SMIR benefits the sellers. By having an opportunity to address the buyer concerns before eBay steps in, you can improve trust levels with buyers. By proactively engaging with buyers and providing resolution to their problems, you ensure that the buyers are happy with their experience on eBay. Control your defect rate. If you resolve buyer concern within the 4-day SMIR period, the claim will not be counted as a defect, leading to better performance in seller standards. Gain more visibility and sales. Satisfied customers provide positive feedbacks, thereby improving your visibility in search results. Let us understand how SMIR works. How does SMIR work? Step 1. Seller receives an intimation of the claim. Whenever a buyer files a claim against you, you will receive an SMS or an email with all the transaction details such as claim ID, item number, the reason why the buyer is raising the claim, and the resolution the buyer is expecting. Step 2. Seller contacts buyer. Based on this email or SMS, the seller should contact the buyer via M2M and offer a resolution to the buyer concern within 4 calendar days. This will help eBay claim adjuster to review the claim and take the right decision in case the issue is not resolved in 4 days. The seller should do all communication with the buyer on the member-to-member or M2M email to the extent possible. Any phone conversation with the buyer should be followed up with an email on M2M. To access your M2M account, go to My eBay account and then go to the Messages tab. Then click on the From Member tab. This is where you will need to conduct all your buyer-related communication. Communicating through M2M will ensure that there is a documented record of all communication with the buyer, which can be used by the eBay claim assessor if required. In case you need any help in resolving the issue, you may contact the eBay helpline. Step 3. Seller delivers the agreed solution. Once you have arrived at a mutually acceptable solution with the buyer, whether it is a refund or a replacement or any other solution that you are okay with, you need to deliver the agreed solution and then follow through with a feedback request. Once the final resolution has been agreed upon and updated on M2M, there will be a final call from the claim assessor to verify that the claim has been resolved. Remember, the eBay claim assessor will assist the buyer and the seller to resolve the claim as per the terms and conditions of eBay guarantee policy on the 5th calendar day. It has been observed that globally, successful sellers resolve maximum claims during the SMIR period without eBay intervention. Let us now look at a few examples of how the SMIR process will work. Examples of how SMIR works. Let us consider 4 different scenarios of buyer-seller communication for resolving a buyer claim. Consider scenario 1. The claim is opened against the seller and the seller did not respond within 4 calendar days. The buyer therefore has no way to respond. This means that there was no communication between the buyer and the seller. Since the seller did not reach out to the buyer, the claim was not resolved. This will result in a defect for the seller. Now consider scenario 2. The seller responded within 4 calendar days. The buyer also responded within 4 calendar days. However, the seller and the buyer could not arrive at a mutually acceptable solution. In this case, the eBay assessor will get involved to review the claim on the 5th calendar day. Please note that the sellers should communicate with the buyer through the M2M platform to the extent possible. This will help eBay take informed decisions by having access to the communication between the buyer and the seller while resolving the claim. Now consider scenario 3. The seller responded within 4 calendar days. The buyer also responded within 4 calendar days. The seller and the buyer could arrive at a mutually acceptable solution. In this case, since the buyer and the seller have been able to arrive at a mutually acceptable resolution, there will be no defect for the seller. Please note that in case the resolution was arrived on a phone discussion, the sellers should document the resolution agreed via M2M. Now consider scenario 4. Let us consider a case where the seller responded within 4 calendar days. But the buyer did not respond within 4 calendar days. The seller and the buyer could therefore not arrive at a mutually acceptable solution. In this case, the eBay assessor will attempt to get in touch with the buyer to resolve the claim on the 5th calendar day. If eBay is not able to get in touch with the buyer, then the claim will be rejected. Please take note that manufacturer warranty related claims are not eligible under eBay guarantee. In case of manufacturer warranty related issues, seller can support the buyer by providing the manufacturer's service center contact details. Sellers should inform the buyer that a VAT invoice is needed to register their warranty claim with the service center. Should the buyers need the VAT invoice, the seller should provide a copy of VAT invoice to help the buyer get their warranty issue resolved with the service center. In case of powership related issues, sellers should continue to support the buyer with resolving their queries. Our logistic partners have the capability of tracking shipments online. Sellers are expected to track the shipment status and share with buyers or guide them in tracking the shipments. Parallelly, eBay will liaise with the logistic partner to resolve the issue. Let us now see how SMIR can protect your seller standards. How SMIR helps protect seller standards. Seller standards focus on what buyers care about the most: getting the item they ordered on time and effective customer service to resolve any urgent requests for help. eBay uses these seller standards as measures to evaluate seller performance. The seller standards comprises 1. Transaction defect rate, which in turn includes seller cancelled transactions for items that are out of stock or can't be fulfilled for any other reason, and cases that are closed without seller resolution. 2. Late shipment rate, which is the percentage of your transactions that were sent after your stated handling time or not delivered by the estimated delivery date. Each of these ratings is calculated as a percentage of total transactions, and your current seller standard is evaluated monthly based on your performance in these areas. eBay's new seller standards are provided in the table below. As you can see, an unresolved customer concern will impact your cases closed without seller resolution, which in turn will impact your transaction defect rate, thereby affecting your seller level. SMIR gives you an opportunity to work with buyers to agree on a resolution, thereby protecting your seller standard from any post-sale issues. Seller protection. Sometimes you as the seller may feel that while the claim has been closed, the outcome has not been fair or the investigation has not been done appropriately. In such cases, in order to protect the interest of the seller, eBay has made a provision wherein the seller can appeal against the case. However, the sellers should note that the appeal against the case should be raised within 14 days of the closure of the claim against which the appeal is being raised. Once the appeal is received, the eBay team will reinvestigate the case. The eBay team will get back to you with a final decision on the completion of the reinvestigation. The investigation would be given more weightage if the seller had tried to reach out to the buyer to resolve the issue during SMIR period. If there was no participation of the seller during the SMIR window, the seller protection claim may get rejected. How to file for seller protection? The process for filing an appeal is very simple. Just go to My Paisa and click on eBay Guarantee. Now, click on eBay Guarantee Claim. Now, click on Seller Protection. You will be prompted to enter the required details and submit an appeal for seller protection. You can also contact us and explain the details by writing to insellerverification@ebay.com, and we will get in touch with you to resolve your concerns. Best practices. There are certain important things that need to be kept in mind while resolving the issues raised by the buyer. Do not spam the buyer. You must contact the buyer within 4 calendar days of the claim being raised. While it is important that you work proactively to resolve the buyer concern, make sure that you do not call the buyer during non-business hours and do not spam the buyer by repeated calls. Do not arrange for the return on your own. In case of replacement or refund, agree to the solution. However, do not arrange for the return on your own. You must wait for eBay to facilitate the same. Make sure that all your communication with the buyer as well as the agreed resolution is on M2M. In case of an item not received complaint, please coordinate with the logistics partner for resolution. There may be times when the buyer did not respond to you in an appropriate manner, or discussion with the buyer does not go as expected. In such cases, make sure that you continue to behave in a professional manner during the conversation. If required, put the conversation on hold and request eBay to intervene. Important tips. Make sure you contact the buyer within 4 calendar days of the claim being raised. Failure to communicate within 4 calendar days will lead to a negative feedback from the buyer and the claim being resolved in favor of the buyer. Make sure that all your communication is with the buyer as well as the agreed solution is on M2M. We hope you enjoyed watching this video. Watch other training videos on our YouTube channel.